Members of the Democratic National Committee clashed over how the party should address the ongoing war in Gaza during their annual summer meeting today. Democrats blocked a resolution calling for an arms embargo and suspension of military aid to Israel. As a result, DNC Chairman Ken Martin withdrew a different measure calling for a ceasefire and the free flow of aid into Gaza.
We need to keep working through this. We have to find a path forward as a party, and we have to stay unified.
Hunter Woodall is following all of this from Minneapolis for us. He tracks politics, used to spend time covering the state of Minnesota, so it's kind of like a homecoming for you. Good to see you, sir. This resolution wasn't successful. They were debating this. Why? And what does this tell us about the fissures in the party as they try to get their act together and unify going into the elections later this fall and next year?
Well, good afternoon, Ed. It was a notable moment today. There had obviously been a lot of tension in the days leading up to this vote and the two competing resolutions being presented. This is an issue that tends to really cause tension in the Democratic Party. It is one where the progressive wing, the more centrist wing, and the very pro-Israel wing of the party tend to be conflicts that really can spill out into the open. This was one of those moments where early on, DNC Chair Ken Martin seemed to flex his power to lead the party when his resolution easily cleared through. That other resolution, though, the one that was part of it, actually, the more controversial one, talked about how they wanted to recognize Palestine as a country, and there were other aspects that obviously alarmed more pro-Israel Democrats. That was voted down, and it was notable that Ken Martin came back and said, okay, they're going to sideline this, they're going to look at finding cohesion within the party. Now, this is an issue that isn't going away, and even before the awful events of October 7th, there was a lot of tension within the Democratic Party between Israel and what's going on in Palestinians. So this issue is not going away anytime soon, and it continues to be unclear how the party faithful, many of whom are gathered here in Minneapolis, are going to find a messaging path that can please both moderates and progressives.
Yeah, tricky issue that has continued to plague them and obviously was a big issue of concern during the elections last year. Real quick, the guys, as they meet, and women as they meet there in Minneapolis, party leaders also have to start thinking about the calendar for 2028. There's renewed focus on who gets to go first, and I know you were calling out the fact that Nevada is making a late play to possibly go first.
That's right, Ed. It was interesting. We're seeing here at these meetings, the early state calendar, nobody knows what it's going to look like yet. We obviously have some ideas based on other years, but Nevada Democrats are making an early push to have their state, their western state, go first on the calendar. This would obviously is an effort to unseat New Hampshire, that eastern state has the first in the nation presidential primary. There'll be a lot of tensions with that. New Hampshire has a state law that essentially means it goes first as a presidential primary state. But Nevada Democrats are starting to make that case. They're saying, look, this is a battleground state. This is a state where you can reach the working class. This is a state where you can try and work on your messaging with Hispanic voters. And there's a lot there that could prevail in their favor, but obviously it's early and there's still a lot of decisions yet to be made amongst Democrats.
We certainly are in the preseason for the next presidential race, but glad we're covering it closely. Hunter Woodall there in Minneapolis tracking it all for us. Thank you so much. We'll talk to you soon.